Made in Abyss is so good. Episode 11 of the second season was absolutely fantastic. Just more and more of some very powerful scenes. I think the Seiyu for Fapta is just knocking it out of the park. Like, this whole episode was literally the embodiment of frustration, as Fapta really has no idea what she wants to do. She's just completely mixed up in the mind at this point, and it shows. Like, the voicing and everything just absolutely shows it. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Opening up the episode, we've of course seen that Regu has failed to stop Fapta. Fapta overtakes him, knocks him out, comes back to where everybody else is, and she's about to take out Riko. Like, Riko is the one that's causing all this. What'd you do to Rego? Why did you mess him up? He doesn't remember me. What did you do to him? She is dead set on taking down not only the people that have been consuming her mother and taking advantage of her mother, but Riko is the one that has taken her special thing away, and she just wants to take her out. It looks like everybody else wants to protect Riko, but yes, Nanachi shows up. Nanachi's back. Oh, she looks so good too. I love the new helmet. She looks fantastic. I just love it. It's honestly, the chemistry of this series has always been around. Early on, obviously, the innocence of Riko, the amnesiac but almost strong but childlike still Regu, and then Nanashi's always kind of been that one that's got the confidence. She understands what's going on. She can see things that nobody else can see. So she has a little more confidence in herself. So to see her finally kind of show up after, gosh, it feels like an entire season Nanashi has been out of the picture. Honestly, it's only probably been about, 4 or 5 episodes, but it feels like it's been forever. Honestly, it's been a couple months since we've actually seen Nanashi doing something. So it's like, the moment that she's up there and she's got Bellof behind her, she said something like, "I can't say that I will handle the situation, but leave it to me," kind of thing. It was really good. It was just like, again, I was so happy to see her. And yeah, Bellof alongside her, it seemed like she was using some sort of lure in order to show Bellof where to attack, or unless it was something else that she was using to attack. But either way, yes, she sends Bellof after Fapta, and an interesting thing happens, as it does seem like Bellof's goal in coming to Fapta was to show her mother. And I think that's an important thing. This entire time, Fapta has lived for a long time under the understanding of nothing, really. She just believed that she was created to get back her mother, to get revenge for her mother. She was the embodiment of revenge. And now, as Bellof is here, finally, she's come inside here, she's made it in here, I can finally give her this one gift. He has a gift, and that is to see her mother. Like, he's literally able to show her mother, to show what her mother was really about, to show her that her mother was kind, her mother loved these people, her mother did so many things for Vueko. She had a relationship and she had a bond with even Bellof himself, and yet she believes Bellof standing before her has the scent of her mother, and thus this is somebody that has directly consumed my mother, and now she's seeing a different picture. And this is the point in which everything, I think, for Fapta really breaks. Like, this gift that Bellof gave her, as much as everybody else wants to claim, even have Regu fighting with her and saying, "I want to stop you because you're going to burn yourself up." Bellof's able to show her. Bellof has the thing that she needs to see, which is her mother's life, her legacy that she left behind. And again, this is where, like, again, her Seiyu, so good. This is one of those ones where it's like a sub versus dub kind of mentality thing. Is like, I would be very curious to see if a Seiyu, an English voice actor, can pull that off, because you can hear it. Like, she just had that anger, frustration, all in that voice, and the animation was absolutely amazing, despite the fact that, yes, Bellof is CGI. It looked so good, and it was, it was so good. I'm getting stuck in myself. I'm getting stuck in this. I'm sorry. But yes, Nanashi does technically mention she experienced the same thing. What Fapta is going through, Fapta's just sitting there. She can't figure it out. And Nanashi says, "Oh, I understand what you're going through. You're physically drained." What Bellof essentially does in giving them memories, they feel physically exhausted. They feel all of the emotions in first person. They feel the longing. They feel the sorrow that the memories actually contain. And so it kind of just washes over her completely and draining her. But yes, I would more argue the idea that, yes, it's more the fact that she just doesn't know what she's going to do next. But now that she recognizes this is probably not enough. Like, I don't think this is going to stop Fapta. I need to get to the next part of the plan. And she starts heading into the village, and it's this point, I'm going to be perfectly honest here, I hope I'm understanding what Nanachi is coming to a conclusion of. It's very difficult. Nanachi at some point acknowledges Wazukan's presence, and she recalls that Belloff told her to be very careful of the one that is touched by the divine, Wazukan. This situation was chosen by him, that he's basically playing out this divine revelation that he has seen. I kind of mentioned this in the comments, technically, in previous videos, that I believe that Wazukan is a sort of entity that it's either going to be the idea that he sees what should transpire and thus is trying to put it into play so it comes true, or he's going to be one of those ones that's only observing that this is going to happen. That he does see a prophecy, but it can either be that he creates the prophecy and thus it's true, or he observes until it becomes true. And I think it's probably going to be more in the idea that he orchestrates it to become true. So thus he's putting all the things, he's seeing them come in. He's seeing that Riko's coming in there, and he's making sure they stay in their place so that it comes true. And so I think from Nanachi's perspective, she's trying to figure out what is his goal. And Nanachi kind of plays out some scenarios like, well, it could happen that Riko will get mortally wounded, and then Regu in pure sorrow over her body, losing his precious thing, Fapta will come and want to grant his wish using one of these stones, one of these cradles that she has 3 of them, using one of them in order to restore her life. And that might be part of his plan. But then there was one thing that she again, this is where I think I understand what she was saying, or at least she's implying here. It could be a translation issue. It could be purposely vague. But it seems to imply that Nanachi believes that what Wazukan's goal is to use that wish on Riko, or have Riko use the wish, and thus merge with Urumuri, or if it's just to merge with Fapta. But either way, Riko is going to essentially have the same thing happen to her that happened to Irumuri. She is going to become the next village. I think she said something like Village Riko. Essentially, do the same thing. So we have a new village being created with Riko's body. She will become this mass. But, and again, this is the vagueness that I'm kind of trying to understand. Nanachi is specifically saying that because Riko at her near death before was talking about adventuring, she will be a village that will move. And thus they can stay inside of her and move on into the Golden City. And I think that's what it's implying here, is that Irumuri, when she became the village, she became stuck in one place. She wanted to stay there and protect. I'm not sure exactly how that comes to that conclusion, but the idea is that, I guess with Riko wanting to adventure so much, she will continue to move despite becoming their new village. Which is a really crazy conclusion, but I guess with Wazukan seeing what happened with Irumuri, could see the same thing happen with Riko if she were to be granted a wish. I don't want to see that happen, though. Was not going down that road. Please, writer, please don't go down that road. We've seen it once with her. I don't want to see it again with Riko. But yeah, going back to Fapta, she's constantly seeing all these memories, again, including the one with Belloff even included, and Irumuri basically saying that she does like Belloff as well. She's confused, but at the same time, she's not allowed to really think on it because at that moment, all the monsters come into the village. It seems like they all knew this basically the shield around this village is broken, and they're just all clamoring to get in there. And this is where things get a little weird because Fapta is attacking the monsters. These are my prey. You're not allowed to destroy these things. This is my job. Like, this is her, essentially, this is all of Fapta's life. Her whole life was to get revenge on this village. Her whole life was to free her mother. And now these monsters are doing it. No, this was my task. This is what I've lived my whole life waiting for. Now you're taking it from me. It is almost one of those kind of, you almost see that she's trying to protect people, but at the same time, she's justifying it by saying, no, this is my job. This is what I was supposed to do. And she's getting destroyed. Oh my gosh, her being just ripped to shreds, cut in half, and she's constantly regenerating, and she's being destroyed over and over again. All the point where Gabu has to step in and protect her, and this big, huge creature starts crushing him. I didn't mention before, but yes, technically Gabu did protect Riko at some point when she was going after Riko. He kind of justified it as, if you were to harm Riko, it will basically take your precious thing away. Regu will never touch you again, will never be around you again. You will lose your important thing if you do this. I can't let you do it, basically. But yeah, watching Gabu getting crushed, and he's just talking about how he only has one regret, that he can't continue to adventure with her. Acknowledges that she was born harboring revenge, yet acquired something that is irreplaceable. His time spent with her is his Haku. I was like, oh gosh, stop. Stop. Oh, it hurts. It hurts so bad. And then her afterwards just really being beat down again and talking about how she's basically, what's the purpose of being immortal if I'm just, is just to sit here and be suffering. Like, she can't die, so as she's being destroyed, all she feels is pain and agony. It's just, all that stuff was just, it hurt, it was horrific, it's unsettling all at the same time. Made in Abyss manages to pull you in so many different directions of emotions at the same time. You can't really get your facts straight on what you think about the situation. But yes, that's when she gets knocked off to the side. Fopta gets knocked off to the side, away from the monsters, and as she's just sitting there in pain and agony and just not able to move, all the villagers flood in and start feeding her parts of their body. Like, you gotta kind of remember way back in previous episodes, the entire village adores Fopta. She is the embodiment of value, and they're all just sitting there watching her when she comes by, and they're in love with her. Even though she looks at them, I'm going to kill you all. Like, she's looking at them like they are the bane of her existence. They all look at her with admiration because she is the embodiment of value. She can go anywhere she wants. She's immortal. She has 3 of these cradles. She is the embodiment. She is the spawn of the village itself. And so they all feel it's worth giving up their own existence to her if they can only be a fraction of her value. So they're giving up their bodies. And even some of them, seemingly, it's just like she grabs them, their entire existence to her. And as she's consuming each one of them, she's really thinking on the idea that she's discovering new things. I discovered that my Haku has its own desires. I discovered more about Regu. I've discovered more about the people in this place. And she feels this warmth, this unknown of what lies beyond this duty. And I think that's the crucial thing here, because she spent her whole life looking towards this one goal of destroying this village. She never thought about what's beyond that. And this is really her realizing that. It's upon me now. What next? And I think she's starting to feel that anxiety of beyond that. But not only that, but I think it's becoming more clear to her because she's starting to have that duty that she has in her mind start to crumble. And so she doesn't know, well, if I don't achieve this, what next? If I do achieve this, what next? And yes, Beloff, before he died, he did mention to Fopta that at the end of your destiny, there will come a time where you yourself will decide your value, to forge ahead without fear, and that he himself would love for her to enjoy her adventure. And yes, that's when Fopta steps forward, cries out multiple times, saying that she will learn of value herself. And that's where it cuts off. Oh gosh, it's so good. Like, it's so good. We have, oh man, I'm dreading it. We have one more episode, but thankfully it's an hour-long episode. Next week will be an hour-long episode, and there's so much kind of laid in place that I really don't know where is it going to leave us, because yes, even though it's an hour long, you have to take into consideration this is in Japan where they have tons of commercials. It's an hour-long socket on television broadcast, and those commercials sometimes take upwards of 20 plus minutes worth of time. So we're probably going to get maybe a 36-minute episode. It could possibly push into 40, but I can't wait. And I'm really worried about where we're going to leave it at, because we have so much left to kind of sit on. Wazukan just ran off with Vueko, ran deep into the village. Obviously, Fopta seems like she is going to be heading off against the monsters to try to take them out. Nanachi has ran further into the village. I'm not sure exactly where she's going. Obviously, Regu's down for the count at the moment. It's just, what is going to happen to the village? What else is in Wazukan's plans? Is he going to try to get them to force a wish upon Riko? It's just what's going to happen to the village overall? What's going to happen to the Hollows? Are they going to be leaving the village? Are they going to stay? There's so many questions left to answer, and we only have one extended long episode of Made in Abyss. I cannot wait. I hope you guys will join me for that finale. Next week is going to be crazy, but I hope you guys will join me for that. As always, if you've not already, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can get that content and all my other content I do here. I do news, reviews, first impressions. it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, make sure to go down below and hit that like button if you like this video. Make sure to hit a comment down there. It helps us out. Plus, I love hearing back from you guys. Did you get something different out of what Nanachi was saying about Riko, that she was going to be the next village? Additionally, if you know the manga, please don't spoil things in the manga. But I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you want to support this channel, I would greatly appreciate if you consider supporting us on Patreon. Our tips link or super thanks button down below. I greatly appreciate everybody that does. And y'all take care.